Hello, fifth graders. Today we are talking about Module 4, Lesson 6. This lesson is all about fractions as a set. First, let's review what the different parts of the fraction mean. So remember, this 3 on the bottom is going to show the total groups we have. So how many groups or how many pieces or how many parts are there going to be? So if we have 1/3, we are going to split whatever our total is into 3 groups. The top number is going to tell us how much we have. How many we have. So, top, how many we have. Bottom number is the groups or the parts. Top is how many of those parts we have. So in 1/3, we would break whatever number we are looking at into 3 total groups or into 3 parts. And we are only looking at one of those parts. Let's look at this idea of fractions of a set though. So for example, if we have 1/3 of 6. Our total is 6. So this is how much we have all together. So we have 6 cupcakes or 6 cakes. And we are looking for 1 piece when we split it into 3 groups. Now let's think of this. If I'm looking for 1/3 of 6, is my answer going to be bigger or smaller? Remember that fractions means breaking up because fractions are the same as division, right? Fractions are the same as division. So if we're going to be looking for 1/3 of 6, our answer is going to be smaller because we're splitting up 6 into 3 pieces and only focusing on one of those pieces. So that would give us 1/3 of it, or only a portion of 6. So let's put a few. The way we do solve fractions of a set, or the way we solve breaking a whole number up into a fraction, is by drawing a picture. Sometimes they will have given the picture to us, like in this example right here. When we are doing that, we will already be able to see that it is split into the amount of groups. So remember, our bottom number shows us the groups. We have thirds, so we split 12 into thirds. 1, 2, 3. Since we are only looking for the first one, we're only looking for 1/3, we're only going to focus on one group. So remember, the top number is the amount of groups you are looking for. The bottom number, the denominator, is the amount of groups total that you have. So if we are looking for 1/3, it's already split into thirds. Our 12 triangles are split into thirds or 3 groups. We are going to just look at 1/3. How many triangles do we have in 1/3? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/3 of 12 is 4. Now, we are going to move on to number 2. Number 2 is looking for 2/3 of 12, which means we are looking for 2 groups out of the 3 that we split 12 into. We've already split 12 into 3 groups, so we're focusing on 2 of those groups. And how many things are in 2 of these groups? take a look. We count. I've circled 2 or put a square around 2 of the groups. Notice how these groups are equal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2/3 of 12 is 8. Last but not least, we're looking for 3/3. Remember, 3/3 is the same as 1. So if 3/3 of 12 is 1 whole, I wonder what that is going to equal. Remember, the bottom number shows me how many pieces or how many groups I've split 12 into. The top number, or the numerator, means how many groups I am looking for. So if I'm looking for 3 groups out of 3, it's 1, 2, 3. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3/3 of 12 equals 12. You may notice a pattern if you look at the amount of pieces we are looking for versus our answer. Keep your eye out for a pattern. Let's move on to one more example. The last example we are going to look at is 2/8 of 16. So first, let's just take a look at what each of these numbers mean. So the first number, or the fraction, right, means how many groups we are going to make. So this would be our groups, our 8. We want 8 groups. Our 2 is going to be, out of those groups we just made, how many do we want, or how many are we going to count? So our 2 means how many do we have? And our 16 is our total. So our 16 is our total. I have 16 things. So I have 16 things. I need to make 8 groups, 8 equal groups. And after I've made 8 equal groups, I'm going to look for 2 of those groups. So it can be a little tricky to do this and make sure I have equal groups. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look through, or I want to create 8 spaces or 8 groups so I can fill them in. So I'm going to look over here. Well, I know I have 8. So I'm going to say, okay, well, here's for group 1. Here's for group 2. Here's for group 3, 4. I hope I can fit it. 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I'll have room for 8 groups. And I'm going to start to fill in my total. So I need to make sure I have 16 pieces. So I'm going to put 1 in each group. So 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Keep going through. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep going. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Notice how when I put 1 in each group first, I'm able to easily make equal groups. So the big thing is to make sure those groups are equal. We want equal groups. It's a big deal. Now, I need to say, okay, how many do I have? I have 2 groups. So I need to look at 2 of my groups. So I'm going to look at 2 of these groups. When I look at my 2 groups, that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So to write my answer, I say 2/8 of 16 is equal to 4. 2/8 of 16 is equal to 4. Let's just think about this though. If I'm saying 2/8 of 16 is equal to 4, 4 is smaller than 16. Don't forget, that means I'm breaking up 16 into smaller groups. Good luck on this, 5th graders.